Have you ever wondered what the loudest sound ever recorded on Earth was? In today's video, we're diving into the world of sound to explore the most intense auditory experiences ever documented. But before I can explain what the loudest sound is, I first need to explain how the sound is measured in terms of loudness in the first place. The decibel scale is what's used to measure the loudness of a sound, and what's important to know is that the scale is logarithmic. This means that 10 decibels are 10 times more powerful than 0 decibels, and 20 decibels are 10 times more powerful than 10 decibels, but 100 times more powerful than 0 decibels. So with that in mind, let's start building up our way to the loudest sound on Earth. Let's begin with 10 decibels, which is about how loud standard human breathing is. 10 times more powerful than this, at 20 decibels, is the rustling of leaves in the wind, and 10 times more powerful than that, at 30 decibels, is a whisper. All of this is a pretty quiet territory, so let's move to 44 decibels, which is the average ambient noise in the library. A little bit higher than that, at 50 decibels, is the noise of a normal human conversation, and 10 times more powerful than that, at 60 decibels, is the noise of a normal conversation in a restaurant. 70 decibels is about the noise that the vacuum cleaner produces, and it's good to be compared with all the noises that is coming up. Twice as loud as that, at 80 decibels, is the noise created by a garbage disposal, and 4 times louder than a vacuum cleaner, at 90 decibels, is the noise that you would hear from a motorcycle engine if you were 7 meters away from it. 100 decibels, which would be 8 times louder than a vacuum cleaner, is a noise produced by operating a jackhammer. Twice as loud as that, though, at 110 decibels, is the average threshold at which humans begin to experience pain. Next up, at 114 decibels, is the average noise produced at a rock concert. A chainsaw produces a noise of 120 decibels, which is 32 times louder than a vacuum cleaner. A shotgun firing right next to you is about 130 decibels. And the loudest noise, that you will most likely experience in your life, is a passenger jet taking off if you were standing 25 meters away from it, which would be about 150 decibels. This right here is the level of sound that can seriously injure your eardrums if you were ever exposed to it. But all of this was just introducing the levels of sound to you. However, the loudest sound heard by humans was unbelievably louder than all of this. The eruption of Krakatoa in August 1883 was one of the most violent volcanic events in recorded history. The initial eruption on August 26th was followed by a series of increasingly powerful explosions over the next 2 days. The eruption was so powerful that it was heard over 3,000 miles away, in Perth, Australia, and the sound traveled around the world multiple times. The explosive force was estimated to be equivalent to 200 megatons of TNT, around 13,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The eruption of Krakatoa had significant global climatic effects. The massive amounts of volcanic ash and aerosols ejected into the atmosphere caused a temporary cooling of the Earth's climate. The following year, 1884, became known as the Year Without a Summer, due to the lingering effects of the eruption. For bonus, here are some crazy and very terrifying facts about the explosion. The force of an explosion was so loud that the sailors that were 61 kilometers away from the blast had their eardrums ruptured. The noise was louder than it may seem at first, because at the radius at 161 kilometers away measured a sound of 180 decibels. It would have taken the sound approximately about 8 minutes to reach that far from the volcano, and it would still be enough not just to rupture your eardrums at this distance, but to knock the air from your lungs and shatter the glass from the buildings. You could have actually died from the power of the sound wave impacting and smashing through your body. But even if you didn't, you would be guaranteed permanently deaf for life. Thanks for watching. Press the like and subscribe button if you want to unveil more things.